Open and push. To the right. Pull to the right. There you go. Push. Run. Whoa! Woo!
Looks like you're out. Oh, we got one more?
Yeah. What's going on, guys? I'm Jake the Lawn Kid. Welcome back to another weekend in the lawn. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys all about our first applications of the season at our Project Lawn. Those of you guys who were around last week, you guys remember I did an update on the Project Lawn showing you guys what it looked like after the brutal winter. What we're going to be talking about today are some steps we took today to compensate for some issues we've been seeing throughout the duration of the Project Lawn. With all that being said, let's get into the video, brah.
Hey, bro.
Oh, nice slippers.
Thanks. Good to see you, man. I didn't think you were coming early.
Well, I'm never early. I know. Just for today, I'm early.
You're always
Dude,
late.
Those are sweet slippers, bruh.
I know, aren't they?
We don't. Do they have those in a flip-flop version?
I hope they do.
So on the morning of the shoot, Alan and I got together, and as Alan and I were walking back up to my front porch, I realized that a package had arrived at my house, and it came from a familiar face here in the lawn care community.
That's odd. Yeah, that's John Pinkerton, dude.
That's cool. That Carbonex.
Oh, okay, so it's from Matt. He wrote all over the box.
The cookie dough, no edible, no eggs. The dough's chocolate chip. What? Oh, mustard dough, peanut butter.
P.S. Alan hasn't gotten any, and I don't have a good reason why. Share with your sister.
There's cupcakes in here? Wow.
Dude, look at that, man. Good, man. All right, look at all that. We're going to eat this tonight on Lawn Fire.
Yeah, we are.
Wow, those look great, man.
Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about are soil temperatures, because one of the biggest things I've been preaching to you guys a lot when it comes to putting down your crabgrass pre-emergent is you want to make sure that soil temperatures are going to be reaching that 50 to 55 degree range. In this case, a lot of you may assume that we were a little too early in timing this, and the reason that is because our soil temperatures average around 40 to 45 degrees at the moment. Okay, so I have the Greencast tool open, and we're going to go ahead and run through a couple things here. So I've gotten my city and state pulled up here, Crown Point, Indiana. That's where I'm located at. Everything I'm talking about in this video is going to be particular to where I'm located. And as you'll see, my current soil temperature right now is 42. Now this is going to raise a lot of red flags for you. A lot of you guys are wondering, Jake, 42? Why would you even bother putting a pre-emergent down? Well, yeah, I kind of get what you're getting at, but just bear with me for a second. This is today, March 30th, 2019. What I want to figure out now is, even though my window isn't completely opened yet, I want to figure out when will it most likely be completely opened, right? So typically what I want to do is I'd want to go forward, but the forecast for later April, early May, and so on doesn't exist yet. I need to go back in time and see what the averages were last year to kind of give me an idea of when those windows will be open. So we need to go ahead and go back in time here. So back to April. Here we are, April 20th, 2018, and you'll see that day the temperatures averaged around 45 degrees, but there's a couple things that contribute to today's average, so that's going to be the highs and the lows throughout the day that give you your overall average. So I'm not really worried about that. All I'm really worried about is the gap between today's average and the 5-year average. And as you see, in the past 5 years, the temperatures average around 55. Once you notice that, then you know that the window is open and you are in full-on crabgrass season. Let me go back to the present date. Just clarify. So just to clarify, while the window is not completely opened yet, we still have another 2 to 3 weeks before that window is completely open. So at this point, the window is starting to open. If you're struggling due to time constraints, then this is a great method to follow. You don't necessarily have to get it dead on when the crabgrass starts sprouting, but if you can get it at least 2 to 3 weeks before, then you're good, you'll get control. One thing you realized as I was showing you Greencast soil temperatures is you have 3 different bar graphs. Number 1 being today's average, number 2 being the 5-year average, and number 3 being the 10-year average. So what I want to talk about real quick is today's average. There's a lot that contributes to that. The highs, the lows, any wind gusts that you have that come throughout the day, that might contribute to a lower temperature. The best thing to do is to measure your soil temperature in the middle of the day. And in order to do this, you're going to have to buy a physical soil thermometer, kind of like this one right here. Stick it about 4 to 5 inches in the ground, and once you notice your soil temperature is peaking 50 to 55 degrees in the middle of the day, then you know you're good to go with your pre-emergent application. Just one more quick tip: if you decide to use a soil thermometer, make sure you measure both sunny and shady areas, because depending on how much sun or how much shade areas get, that definitely has an impact on the temperature of the lawn. So make sure that you measure both sunny and shady to get a broad measurement of everything. In our case, we averaged about 50 to 55 degrees, so we're fine. Just a quick tip: if you're going to take a physical measurement like this, make sure you do both sun and shade to make sure you're within that 50 to 55 degree range in the middle of the day. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be doing here at the Project Lawn is a little brief spring cleanup. The idea here is we want to remove as much leaves and as much debris as possible, because one of the problems we talked about the last time we were here, especially in an area like where Rich lives here with all these trees, is that some leaves will fall later than others, even after the late fall cleanup, and because of that we have some leaves that fell down, packed in some areas, and choked them out, and because of that we have bare spots intermittent throughout the lawn. So the idea being is we want to make sure we get those up and out of there to get as much airflow down into those areas as possible to help encourage new growth. In addition, another thing we're going to be doing today is a little bit of light raking. One of the things you might have noticed from last week's update as well is that we also had some matted areas, and this is what happens when you get snow cover. It just mats things down, it chokes things out. It's all part of winter kill. To compensate for this problem, all I recommend you do is get out and do a little bit of light raking. Now, as I've talked about before, the idea isn't to remove anything. We don't want to pull anything out, right? We just want to make sure that we could stand this grass up as straight as possible, which will then stimulate more top growth, because one of the biggest things I talk about is airflow. If we don't have it, there's no way you can have a healthy lawn. Remember, airflow is key. Okay, so we had a little, looks like we had a little fallout here with the Milorganite. So when I was loading it, looks like I got it caught in that hook right there, and looks like we spilled some Milorganite here, and not too happy about that, because Alan was telling me how upset his wife would be now that she has to drive the car. So yeah, I think the best thing to do here is I'm just not going to tell him, because when I do, he's going to be a little upset. So, shh. Oh boy, that smells great.
All right, here we go.
Ready. Okay, so our next step is going to be our spring application, starting off with our good old friend Milorganite. Today we're going to be applying at 12 pounds per thousand, and for those of you guys who are smart, that'll deliver us about just under 3/4 pounds of nitrogen. So The idea of putting Milorganite down now is not to get a fast release, right? We want to get a slow release that releases into the soil as the season progresses. One of our biggest rationales with this project is not to get fast release and to stimulate growth right away. We've already gotten a good dose of nitrogen last fall to take us all the way through. So now all we're trying to do here is we're just trying to lightly add to that. We're just trying to fill in the gaps to make sure that the lawn is as green and as thick as it can be once we get to spring. So once again, the idea is not to feed the lawn now, but to slowly feed it as the season progresses.
Ready?
You're struggling, dude.
Yeah, I'm struggling, dude.
You are.
Bro, look at the hill. I shouldn't even have tried to compromise that hill. See? Yeah, man, I'm out of shape. Should have stayed. I should have stayed up there. Now I have to climb that hill again.
Here, I'll climb it.
You're gonna climb it? Oh,
Yeah.
thank God.
Here. Now on to our last application. This is going to be our pre-emergent herbicide, which is going to be the 007 perdiamine, and we are going to be applying that at 3 pounds per 1,000 square feet. We have a 50-pound bag, and the area we're treating is 14,000 square feet, so we are going to be applying 42 pounds of the bag. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Look out for Alan's video coming out sometime in the next day or so, recapping what else went on during our time together, as well as a little bit more on the Project Lawn. If you guys want to see that, I will leave his channel here in the eye in the top right corner, as well as in the description below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, where I'll show you guys how to get the greenest and thickest lawn on the block. With that, I'm Jake the Lawn Kid. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. If I don't see you guys next time, you're gonna be dominated, bro. See you later.